dropping, if you guys wouldn't mind dropping in the chat where you're calling in from today. That's the first request. Where are you calling in from today? And my second request to you guys is letting me know who's a vibe owner, who's not a vibe owner, who wants to be a vibe owner. Drop those in the chat. And while you guys are dropping those in the chat, I did want to share with you that we are going to leave time for you guys to ask Dr. Schwartz those questions that might be nagging at you or you want to learn more about at the end of today's presentation. And once again, today's presentation is New Earth Medicine. I've been calling vibroacoustic therapy the new medicine for a while, so I love the title of tonight's webinar. Thank you, everybody that's commenting. I'm pulling mine up right now. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. We've got some Texans here. Multiple people from Texas. Future Vibe owner, want to be a Vibe owner. Wisconsin, Cheryl Birch. Hey, Cheryl. California. Nice to meet you, Cheryl Marshall. Dan from Melbourne, Australia. Hey, Dan. Jackie, yes, from Canada, Vibe owner. But yes, Dan Byrne, you're awaiting yours. Awesome. Okay, Montana, waiting for delivery. We are owners of the Vibe. Okay, you guys, thank you. Thank you for that feedback. So we've had multiple people join. We are about 6 minutes past the hour. We're going to give it about 1 more minute to let people join. But once again, tonight's presentation is about New Earth Medicine. You guys, there are so many wellness modalities that are out on the market today, and I believe there's a place for a lot of them. But we really appreciate that you guys are wanting to learn about frequency and vibration and sound and how it can allow our body to come back into homeostasis. Dr. Schwartz has multiple exciting announcements to share with you guys tonight. We've been doing testing with the Vibe, pre-Vibe testing and post-Vibe session testing and showing how it can positively impact our various body systems. And the tests just keep coming back with positive, impactful results, and we're excited to share those with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to Dr. Stephen Schwartz, the founder and creator of Bioharmonic Technologies and the Vibe System. He's also a published author with Primal Resonance. Dr. Schwartz, if you wouldn't mind, please come online.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me? I really need to work on my Tony Robbins introduction. There's something about just the buildup, are you waiting for Dr. Schwartz to come on, or is Dr. Schwartz running around on the other side of this camera, not doing anything? Or he's like, oh my God, he missed a webinar. Where is this guy? Well, Dr. Schwartz is right here. And thank you, Amy, for the introduction. And where is here? Dr. Schwartz is right here in my beautiful home in Tulum, Mexico. So I'm going to be taking you guys here. That's what's in the background, deep in the jungle of the the ancient Mayan lands. And there's a couple things before we get started. Look, there's people showing up now. We love doing webinars. We started doing them a few months ago, and we do them every month. And it's just really amazing the people that show up. We have Vibe owners, we have new Vibe owners, we have people. And it's the best way to get to know who I am, my company is, this technology. And if you want to learn about how to speak about this technology, you want to invite friends, invite them to this webinar. And there could be worse things to do than spend an hour with Dr. Stephen Schwartz and the one and only Amy Connect. She's the connector, the ultimate connector. So before we get started, I want to know in the chat, and I want everybody, first of all, is it possible, could everybody come on camera for just a minute? If you're there, yes, I'm asking, I don't care what you look like, I don't care what you're doing, but if you can come on camera and just say hi, I'd love to see some faces. All right, oh, there's Dan, all the way down under. All right, here's Cheryl and two Cheryls. Well, we have multiple Cheryls. And Here's Carla and Jackie. And let's see, I want to see, we have a mystery guest here who I'm probably going to embarrass him. But you guys, if you've ever come to my on Thursday as a Vibe owner, we have these Thursday Vibe Tribe calls. And my mom always joins the Vibe Tribe call. She's a Vibe owner and has changed her life, which is a great story. Instead of selling to other people, what about your own family, right? Well, I'm happy to introduce my father. My father is actually on, is Erwin Schwartz, and I'm not sure. Can you come on camera, Dad? Let's see if that happens or not. It's 50-50. Anyhow, I'm happy that you made, let's see who else is here. Caleb, what's your name? Oh, Jackie, Kaylin, I saw Kaylin. Anyhow, thank you guys for coming on. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I can't really read your name. Kelmi Kabata? There you are. Where are you from?
Hi, doctor.
Hi
My
there.
name is Kelmi Cabrera.
That's a beautiful name. Where
I'm from Venezuela, but I live in South Florida.
Okay. And you're a Vibe owner?
I do, yes.
Okay, great.
I have my practice little office in Plantation, South Florida.
Beautiful. Well, we're happy to have you here. And we love our Venezuelans and the whole Latin community. And yeah, we're spreading all around the world. We got Australia, we have US. I don't know, any other countries here? Okay, so let's see. Did I ask the question? Oh, I didn't ask the question. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0, you don't know anything about sound, light, frequency, and vibration. 10, you know everything. What number would you rate? Just go ahead and put it in chat. I want everybody on this chat just to put in some number. It could be a 1, okay, a 5, a 6. Cheryl, okay, Lester, Carla, 6. Okay, who else? Well, we got some 2s. Okay, Donna, Sandy is a 3, 2 and 3. Who's an 8? Who's an 8? Cheryl, okay. Anyone else? I know there's more than just 5 people on here. Okay, the other Cheryl's 8. Okay, cool. So we have 2 sides of the pyramids. Okay. Anyone else? Keep going. Anybody else with their numbers? So we have a lot to share, and I think without any further ado, let's get into this, guys. I'm really happy that you're here. Welcome to the Vibroacoustic Evolution Revolution, and I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to be talking about sound, light, frequency, and vibration. And like Amy said, this is New Earth medicine. And, New Earth can be almost kind of airy-fairy, or it can be very progressive, depending which way you think about it. I think about New Earth in the fact that there's been this, really since the 70s, they've been talking about the age of Aquarius and moving out of the Piscean age into this new world of raising the vibration of the planet. And really, not to get too far off track, but basically, what happened in 2020, COVID was an effect of a raising of the vibration of this planet. And there's so much information out there about how this planet keeps going through its own evolutionary change. So of course it's going to go, as we look as a race, as a species, we're raising our vibration. So of course the planet's raising our vibration. Which one came first, the planet or the Earth? Probably the planet, and it's inducing a raise and elevation in us. So what I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in the webinar is why do we use sound, light, frequency, and vibration? But really, when we're looking at these things, we are becoming less dense, less physical. And so what is resonating with our bodies and to really change biochemistry are things like sound, light, frequency, and vibration. And that's what we're going to be spending this time. That's been my cornerstone of my practice since 2000. I've been reversing chronic degenerative conditions and allergies using exclusively vibrational techniques and technologies. And so now it's just been the evolution of working with the vibe system, biofeedback systems, lasers, all the things. And here's a quick quote for me: how vibrational resonance can release traumas trapped in the body and optimize human performance. If that sounds interesting to you, and I'd like to see, trying to find my chat bot. Let me find my chat. At the moment, I can't see my chat bot, but I'd like to see. There we go, chats. Cool. Now we can be interactive. So like I said, a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Stephen Schwartz. They call me Dr. Vibe. Some people call me Dr. Vibe. I'm the president and founder of Bioharmonic Technologies, and that's the webinar that you're in right now. And by license, I'm a chiropractor. I've been working on, I'm a visionary technology designer. Literally, I've been designing technologies, different technologies since like 2004, 2007, really 2007 when that began. And also I create sonic alchemy. I'm really looking at music, as they always say, how music is medicine. Music can also be poison, and there's specific ingredients that can be utilized just the same as you can take an herb that can create toxicity in your body. You could take an herb that can cure cancer. Same can happen with music, and this is why I'm a sonic alchemist, because I work in very specific protocols for creating special concoctions that can directly impact our connective tissue and clear cellular memory. And I'm going to get into the details of that on this webinar, so stay tuned. Also, I'm a regenerative medicine expert, like I said, since 2000. So it's 2004, almost 25 years I've been working with reversing chronic degenerative conditions and allergies and autoimmune diseases, exclusively using sound, light, frequency, and vibration. And the interesting thing is the opposite side of that equation is, I remember, I was a young doctor in 2000. I graduated chiropractic school in 1998 and moved to Colorado in 1999 and really had my spiritual awakening in 2000, and then started on this whole path with energy medicine. And I was always asking, why am I seeing chronically ill patients? Like, why are these the people that are gravitating to me? What's in my vibrational resonance that's creating a portal for these people? Or why am I vibrating at that level? But I'm also, my background as a chiropractor and an undergrad was with sports medicine. And so I'm really into human optimization and facilitating that. So when we look at here, you're in pain, or yes, you have your mental confusion or depression or anxiety or whatever disease X, what happens when we get to a baseline and get you to a place where you no longer have disease X or symptom X or problem X? Now what? Oh my God. I don't have something to hide behind anymore. So where do you want to go? It's a great question. And I invite you guys, in fact, I invite you in the chat right now, just write in the chat. If you're going to be focusing on human optimization, okay, actually, why don't we do this? 10 is human optimization, 0 is you're dead. So if you're on this webinar, you're at least a 1. What number would you put yourself on a 1 to 10 scale? Just go ahead and put in the chat. What numbers? Okay, we got 6s, 7s. Okay, great. 7s, great. Lots of 7s, great. 7s, there's a 5. Cheryl, you're a 5? Married to a chiropractor and a vibe owner? Okay, let's work on that. But we're happy to see you on this webinar. So keep putting in I'm going to keep talking on this slide, but guys, keep putting in your numbers. And really, who's heard of the term epigenetics? And who knows this gentleman, Bruce Lipton? You can give a thumbs up in the chat or a yes. Yes, good, Cheryl. Going through some stuff. Okay, Cheryl, over here, we're going to raise your vibration. Okay, there's a couple. Oh, great. Lots of yeses. I think there was a no. I thought I saw no. Maybe not. Well, Bruce Lipton is a famous biologist researcher that coined the phrase epigenetics. Yeah, he's a great mentor of mine as well. And really what he's proved is that genes, what they said in traditional science is that you're born with specific genes. You know, you get it's the gene, I guess we'd call it the gene lottery. Oh, you know, too bad you were born with cancer gene, or you're born with the smoking gene, you're born with the depression gene. Okay, maybe your next life you won't be born with that. But Bruce Lipton talks about is your environment can actually influence the way that your genes express themselves. So everybody, based off your environment, can change the way that you have a genetic expression, and that's called epigenetics. And I remember seeing him for the first time in 2004, totally validated everything that I was doing in my practice without even knowing why I was doing it. He explained it over the 3 days down in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I was at this conference. And I remember saying to myself, though, what's the applied science? Because you can talk about the theory, you can talk about these things, but how do you do it? And he recommended different protocols, different techniques, things like that. But I thought there's got to be a quicker, easier way. And it really planted the seed for what is now known as the vibe system, which is true epigenetic technology. Really working with biofeedback is epigenetic technologies, working with lasers, working with light, sound, frequency, and vibration. It's all epigenetics because it comes externally and can influence your cells in a variety of different ways. So another famous people. Next couple of slides, we're going to be going over some of my mentors. Here's another one of my mentors, the one and only Albert Einstein. And I'm going to share with you, guys, if you walk away with one thing from this webinar, maybe go ahead and write this down. And in fact, I know you're all muted, but repeat after me. Intention, I want to see your lips move. Intention plus resonance, not residence, but resonance, equals transformation. This is the equation for transformation. If you set an intention and you can find resonance in that intention, you will create a transformational change. And this is where we can work with human optimization. And really, even if you're down in the 3s or the 5s or the 2s or the 1s, you can still set an intention and find vibrational resonance. Maybe that vibrational resonance, maybe your intention is, I just don't want to be in pain anymore. I want to get a good night's sleep. Those are all great intentions, and all we have to do is help bring you into resonance with that. So this is one of my favorite quotes from Albert Einstein, and he says, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. And what Albert Einstein is describing there is what I refer to as an interdimensional portal. I'm going to write that in the chat. An interdimensional portal. And what's a portal? It's a doorway or a gateway. What's a dimension? It's a measurable space. What's inter? Between two measurable spaces. And according to quantum physics, everything exists in infinite dimensions. And how do you align with that dimension? One ingredient, resonance. And that's what Albert Einstein just talks about. And so I'm inviting you guys to and the vibe systems that we're talking about are interdimensional portals for your living space. So why is that? We're going to talk about that. So a couple other things I want to talk about in the early phases of this webinar. Once again, this gentleman in the lower right-hand corner, the one and only Dr. Masaru Emoto. Who's heard of Dr. Emoto? Go ahead and you can put your hand up. You could give me a yes, a thumbs up, all these. Yes, Dr. Emoto, messages in the water. And really what he showed in his studies is what he did. If you're not familiar with Dr. Emoto, he took water and subjected it to music and to thoughts and to written things and to art and all these different things. And then he would freeze it and then do cross sections and put it on a microscope, and he would see different things. Exactly. Cymatics. And that's okay. So there's two parts. So there's two parts of this slide. One, we're talking about cymatics. One, we're talking about Dr. Emoto. I put them together because they're both kind of showing relatively kind of the same thing. Dr. Emoto said that putting your intention into water, and we're water. We're water. So if you put your intention into us, we can create these beautiful geometrical shapes, or we can create ugly, non-geometrical dissident shapes in our bodies. Also, cymatics. Cymatics is the study of showing the effects of pressure waves on fluid mediums as you expose them to different frequencies, and what that ends up, and what that's showing is that you can create these beautiful mandalas that form just through different hertz frequencies. And what you're actually looking at is the space between the space. That's really the true cymatics, is the invisible space in between. And it's a beautiful study. So it's showing the effects of how we are water. And if we couple water with frequency and our intentions, we can align ourselves to a new dimensional reality. And I want to write this in the chat. This is the key. Not any dimensional reality, but interdimensional reality of our choosing. Because we are all byproducts of a dimensional reality. You know what dimensional reality in? The one you're in right now. So if you're a 5, Cheryl, you're in a 5-dimensional reality. So let's apply the intentions plus resonance creates transformation. Let's move you to, what would it take for you to come into a 10? What would it take to be in a 7? What would it take to be a 6? So we can, and you might say, oh, that sounds great. Okay. That sounds great. In theory, Dr. Schwartz, you're right. But what's the applied science? So that's what we're talking about here today. And this is a gentleman, another mentor of mine that I have a feeling, how many people have heard of this gentleman or have heard of this book? The one, actually he's not a doctor, James Oshman. I was introduced to his book. I'm not even sure. Really in the earliest days, this book, the energy medicine, the scientific basis, talks about the living connective tissue matrix. Yeah, Cheryl. See, nobody's heard about James Oshman. He better start paying me some royalties, because I've been referring this book really since we've been doing these webinars the last couple of months. So see if there's been a spike in his book sales. But you know what? This book, it's super heady. Like, it's the kind of chapter will have like 15, 20 pages, and 3 to 5 of those pages at the end will be cited research articles. So that's what he's putting in. So he's an expert in terms of the living connective tissue matrix, water. This got me on the whole kick working into studying intracellular water. And one of my favorite, this is another, I kept this in, I spoke down at a longevity conference in Phoenix a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now, maybe a month and a half ago now. And this is the equation for longevity and immortality. Okay, this is where I start seeing everybody start jumping off the webinar. Thanks, Dr. Schwartz. Nice to meet you. He's talking about immortality, right? It's an interesting topic because, listen, as far as I'm concerned, everybody dies. So that kind of debunks the whole immortality thing. But there's a society that's really focused on immortality and how do you really live longer, most optimal lives. And really, I believe it comes down to these 3 ingredients: hydrate, vibrate, and gyrate. Hydrate, we are 70 to 90% water, which James Oshman talks about in his book. Then once we are hydrated, we then add vibration into that equation. And then we will allow ourselves to spin, to gyrate. And when our bodies are gyrating, we are regenerating. And when we're regenerating, we are not degenerating. And we're either regenerating or degenerating. There's no stagnant in middle. So if we're regenerating, we are moving towards longevity and immortality. Why does it say 1 million times? I need to share this very important stat with you. So what James Oshman said is, and guys, this makes so much sense. At 10, okay, so when we come in, we can put this in the chat, guys. When we're born, we're like 90% water when we come out of the womb. When we die of natural causes, does anybody want to venture a guess what % water we are in our bodies when we're dying of typical like natural causes? Anyone want to venture a guess? 10%. Okay, great. Thank you for participating, JJ. Any other guesses? Any other question? Any other percentages? Come on. No idea. 70%. 0. Okay, Jacqueline, great. 60. These are all great guesses, guys. 30 to 35. Pressing up the 35 number. So, from what I've read, when you're quote unquote dying of natural causes, you're at about 50%. So if you're at 90% when you're born and 50%, and we living in, let's just say it's typical adults, we're in that 70-80% range, the only difference between like life and death, guys, get this, is about 30% water hydration. So what James Oshman said is if there's a 10% reduction in water, it creates a reduction in cellular physiology by 1 million times. So all of a sudden, when you're dying of cancer, when you're dying of chronic degenerative conditions, we're dying of depression, of obesity, of diabetes, of fill in the blank. What if you're just dehydrated? And what I want to share with you is I'm on a computer right now. Who's ever had like a virus on their computer? Who's ever had like, or they drop, picture me taking your computer. What if your computer worked 40%, 4 million times less than when you bought it? Do you think it's going to attract a virus? They call it a virus. Do you think it's going to be glitchy? Think it's going to be slow? Think it's going to be stagnated? You're probably going to want to buy a new computer. Same thing applies to the human body. So that's what we're talking about, guys. So we've been talking about epigenetics, we've been talking about all these different things, but really what I want to share with you the rest of the time here is about the epigenetic technology made so simple. It's known as the VIBE system, and that's an acronym. Repeat after me. Vibrational, I want to see the lips move. Vibrational, individualized, body enhancement system. It's not a bed, it's not a couch, it's not a mat, it's not a chair. It's its own unique thing that exists. It's called a vibe system. It's a vibrational, individualized body enhancement system that is designed, really, I designed it with the intention for a question I asked myself: how do I clear cellular memory? We're going to talk about that in just a little bit in this webinar. Interesting. What is cellular memory? And also, where does biochemistry come from? That's another great question. And how do we directly influence the way biochemistry is expressed? Thank you, Bruce Lipton. Epigenetics. So as a byproduct of vibing yourself, we can have other clearing cellular memory and optimizing biochemistry, optimizing your parasympathetic response. If you don't know what that is, parasympathetic is when your body goes into a rest and regenerative process. And in that space, we can, your body begins to, I'm going to write this in the chat, guys. When your body goes into parasympathetic, your biochemistry is optimized for healing. And this is the phenomenon that happens. You begin to heal yourself. So these are some of the other benefits: mental clarity, tissue regeneration, detoxification, stem cell support, emotional balance, and improved sleep. All of these things are secondary effects of why we created it why we created the vibe system in the first place. So I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I want to express to you some of the fundamentals. I want to share with you that what I'm talking about, this is not the world according to Dr. Stephen Schwartz. In fact, this is my book, Primal Resonance: Discover the Secrets to Health, Vitality, and Optimal Human Performance. You can get it off of Amazon. You can get it off of our website, bioharmonic technologies.com. And really, this is the first 14 years I spent in clinical practice. And it sets in, the vibe is one of the applied sciences that I talk about in this book. And this predated me even making a vibe. When I wrote this book in 2014, I was working with my mentor in 2012. But really, the vibe didn't come out till 2018, 2019. But the principles is what I was talking about. And so I want to talk about this really simply. Is there's something called the piezoelectric effect. And what that says is in a living system, if an object moves around one another, it creates an electromagnetic field. And we are a living system. So if objects move around one another, it creates an electromagnetic field. If we go down to subatomic particles, protons, neutrons, electrons, they're in constant movement. Constant movement in an organic system creates an electromagnetic field around one cell, electrons. That creates a field times 100 trillion, big field. That's called our auras. That's called our bioelectrical fields. And it's a total byproduct of this piezoelectric effect. Another aspect of this is something called photonic emission. And photonic emission is a term that happens whenever an electron, so in a subatomic particles, you're having protons and neutrons in the nucleus. Then you have these electrons that are like moving. Every time they move, they release a spark of light and energy. And when that happens, actually, that's when you begin to create this aura around our field. But the piezoelectric effect and the photonic emission, what makes up our three-dimensional light expression of ourselves. Now, the difference between light and sound is speed, because that's why when you look at me, and some people might be like, oh, Dr. Schwartz and Amy, you just exude light. Well, that's great. Thank you that you can see our energy fields. But really, the typical people of us, we are seeing ourselves in these physical three-dimensional spacesuits. And the reason why that is because we slow down light into sound, and it grounds us into a specific dimension. And what dimension? Depends on the resonance. Thank you, Albert Einstein. So this is, you guys with me? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you are following these concepts I'm talking about. If you're lost, let me know. Say I'm lost. If you're paying attention, let me know. Okay, thank you, JJ. Thank you. Thumbs up. Thank you, Ashley. All right, all good. KC, great. Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to continue. Great. Thumbs up. Great. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Kenny. Oh, wait, no, Kathy. I get you. I will get you correct. Hold on. So now let's go a little bit deeper. And this is what we just talked about. See, brain, blood, bone, heart, liver, kidneys, 80, 75 or more. It's all water. We're all water. And so now when we pull it out of these subatomic levels and look at our bodies, we got to just go as far as our cells. And what is a cell? It's pretty simple. We have intracellular water surrounded by a structural matrix known as our exoskeleton, or what James Oshman refers to as the living connective tissue matrix. And like I said earlier, we're 70 to 90% water, and water has three functions: holds memory, is conductive, and dilutes and detoxifies. So if anybody's toxic, what's the first thing you want to do? Increase your water. People can die from sepsis. People can die from being too toxic. They're just dehydrated. Begin that, flooding your body with highly susceptible water. And then the exoskeleton is this living connective tissue matrix that gives us shape and structure to the body and receives information from our environment. This is the direct interaction of epigenetics. And if we're going to go deeper into the living connective tissue matrix, there's three biological materials that make up the living connective tissue matrix. I want to read everybody's lips. All right, right here. So, microfilaments. Let's see the lips move. Microfilaments, microtubules, and intermediate tubules. What are those? Those are the biological materials, anatomical structures that make up the living connective tissue matrix, and they have one function. They do one thing. They respond to our environment through vibrational resonance, period. And this is, once again, this is not the world according to Dr. Schwartz. This is written actually in every medical textbook that you begin to tap into. They talk about this. And this is what initiates the living connective tissue matrix, initiates every biological process in the body. Every single one is initiated through the living connective tissue matrix. And the first one we're going to talk about we're going to talk about two. One's called mitosis, and it's how our cells replicate. As soon as the sperm fertilizes the egg, we begin to go into this mitotic replication process, going from 1 cell to 2 cells to 4 cells to 6, and on and on and on and on to 100 trillion cells. And then we hit 100 trillion cells, and then we're doing replication over 100 trillion cells over the next however long, 70, 80, 90 years, 100 years, 120 years, 150 years, 500 years. How long can we live for? This is the study of studying immortality and longevity. Interesting, right? These are the fundamentals for that. What is it? Hydrate, vibrate, gyrate is the equation for longevity and immortality. So mitosis, and when we're talking at this very initiating top part here, this is called the anaphase, or the interphase rather. This is the interphase, and this is where our cells metabolize information that creates the cascading effect. And then so the interaction of the living connective tissue matrix is where information from the environment comes in, and then it trickles down into a new cellular development. So think about if the information coming in at the top is negative information, it's going to create a negatively expressed cell, or a sick cell, or dissonant cell. If it's positive information coming in from the top, it's going to create the opposite. And this is what we're talking about here with signal transduction. And this is how our cells communicate. This is the originating factor for creating biochemistry, signal transduction. And really, good information going in creates life-enhancing chemistry. Bad, negative information creates life-inhibiting chemistry. And as we see, it even says this is a picture from not a very special advanced medical book. This is a pretty standard medical book. And it says a hormone or an environmental stimulus, something from the environment, stimulates the receptor, that's the living connective tissue matrix, at the cell membrane, and then it creates this biochemical response. So what biochemistry? It depends on the stimulus. And this, guys, I believe is the most important slide that I'm going to go over here today, because this ties in a lot of stuff that people never even heard of before. And I'm going to talk about embryology. So remember I said once the sperm fertilizes the egg and you begin to develop this embryo, the fetus begins to develop. There's 3 biological materials that form. One's called the ectoderm, one's called the mesoderm, one's called the endoderm. I'm not going to talk about the meso or ectoderm. That's what forms, the bones and the blood and the organs. But what I'm going to focus on is the first material that forms, which is called the ectoderm. And it's the first thing that develops, and it forms the nervous system. It forms the brain, the cranial nerves, the peripheral nerves. It forms the enteric nervous system. That's the nervous system. They say there's more neurological connections in your gut than in your brain. Correct. It's called the enteric nervous system. Also, the spinal cord is formed. The living connective tissue matrix also is derived from the ectoderm. It surrounds every tissue system and cell of the body. And then also, this is kind of the bonus question, the skin. I can't see who's still attending, but I'm not sure if my dad is still on this webinar. But, his daughter, my sister, is having some severe rashes going on. And she called me, and You know, it's so funny because it doesn't matter. I could be the president of the United States. That could be Gandhi, you know, but at the end of the day, in your family, you're still the little brother that doesn't know anything, right? You know, I call her and I'm like, you know what, you should take some probiotics, and I recommend going to mom's house and vibing. You don't understand. You don't know. I'm trying though, and I love my sister very much. And you know what? I feel her because she's got this rash going on, and she's been super stressed, and she needs to go vibe herself. And this is a perfect example of how your skin is upregulated because of stress and imbalances. And it could be, and then she's taking these steroid creams, which is messing up the digestive system. That's where she needs the probiotics. And really, once you get that all under control, things get pretty easy, guys. Healing's pretty easy. I hate to say that, but well, I like to say that. And if that's controversial, I invite you to please message me after this webinar, and I can explain to you the easiness of it. And it's based off some fundamentals. Basically, everything I'm talking about here on this webinar. So this ectoderm is important because, why is it important? Because we're talking about brain entrainment, right? Everybody's heard of brain entrainment. Everybody's talking about like hypnosis, right? And controlling the mind. But the ectoderm, everything, if it's an ectodermal tissue, everything responds the same way. Meaning that, why focus on hypnotizing the brain when we can apply the same information into all the ectodermal tissues? And instead of just focusing on the relay station, you're going to get a complete systemic response of something called full body neurological entrainment. And that's where we're coming from, working with the ectodermal tissues. And that's why we have a vibe system that is taking us to another place. I need to do a little change here. Plug in my computer. There we go. So next, now let's get into the specifics, guys. I gave you all the science. We talked about my background. Now we talked about the vibe system. Now, what's the magic? What are the formulations? And the formulations are the sonic-ceuticals. And if my dad is my dad still here? Let me take a look. Let me take a scroll through here. Erwin. I think he popped on. He might not be here anymore. Anyhow, my father's a pharmacist, and I grew up in a pharmacy. And it's interesting because I call these sonic-ceuticals versus pharmaceuticals, and ceuticals just means to heal. That's what ceuticals mean, and sound. So we're healing with sound, and it's not just taking a bowl or a chime or a gong, and that works, guys. Putting harmonic resonance into your body will put you into a parasympathetic state for sure. However, one of my first mentors, Dr. Jaffe, she said, Doctors Jaffe Mahler, they said, if you want to be specific, if you want to be terrific, you have to be specific. And so my understanding the background of human physiology, we've been able to formulate specialized programs, sonic-ceutical programs, for directly not just taking you into parasympathetic and clearing cellular memory, but creating different biochemical reactions for creating specific physiological effects. And I want to just run through some of these programs right now. One's called energy clearing, and it's designed for clearing negative energy out of your nervous system, space, and being. It's great for PTSD, things like that. Cellular attunement, 12 different emotional relationships that you can work with balancing. So any kind of emotional things, it's great for that. Sonic-Ceuticals Volume 1 works based off of specific frequencies from Dr. Paul Nozier. If you're not familiar with his work, he has 9 different protocols that he's using auricular therapy for things like stem cell regeneration, bone regeneration, visceral healing, wound healing, all these things. And I created a Sonic-Ceutical based off of those frequencies and many other things. Cell Cleanser is a protocol for anti-inflammatory detox, ancestral trauma and cellular memory. Yes, we can work with that with energy clearing. Cell cleanser is great. It's like a shamanic journey. And we just keep working through it. Start working, because through vibrational resonance, I mean, I don't want to let me finish this real quick, JJ, but really at the end of the day, if you take, let's say, my personal feeling is the most powerful cellular memory clear I've ever experienced is ayahuasca. And when you drink ayahuasca, and I've drank it a good amount of time over the years, I've worked with that medicine. Really what activates it is the vibrational resonance. So now we can begin to put vibrational resonance coupled with intention, and it begins to transform your life. Remember the equation? Spectrum. Spectrum is another sonic ceutical for working with ADD, depression, anxiety. It's great for brain nervous system balancing. It's great for really psychedelic experiences, natural release of DMT. People have psychedelic experiences, but this is great for anything on this autistic spectrum disorder. That's spectrum. Transformation and abundance. These are future pacing sonic ceuticals. So great. We've cleared cellular memory. We've reduced inflammation. We've healed the bones. Human optimization. Where do you want to go next? Transformation and abundance. It's a sonic vision board. The journey. The journey has 3 different journeys. One is this journey of self-actualization. I call that 20 minutes of yes. A tribal jungle journey called Escape, and a spaceship ride to Pluto. We made that sonic ceutical to take the Burning Man. And we're going to be creating more sonic ceuticals in the very near future. Part of me being down here in Tulum is getting set up for that experience. And we have an app called Vibrafile. And with your Vibe purchase, you get a free pro subscription, which enables you to have access to all the music plus 20 preset protocols. So that's the programs. And these are some of the things, just to let you know, okay, well, Dr. Schwartz, lots of people are making frequency music now. Why is your music any different? Well, what you're looking at here is an album cover. I've been making CDs sonic ceuticals since 2007. And yes, we began when we were making CDs. Not vinyl. I'd like to make vinyl, actually. I'd like to repurpose all my sonic ceuticals in vinyl. So that'll be a project down the road at some point. But really what I want you to look at is the ingredients. I went here, these are the components and these are the protocols. So whenever I make an album, I design specific protocols and I post the specific ingredients in them, just as if you're going to read like a supplement and you're going to want to read the ingredients, you can read the ingredients in your sonic ceutical. And if you're a Vibe owner and want to see what the ingredients are, I invite you to go to bioharmonictechnologies.com, go to music, go to buy, and then go to music, and you can look on all the albums and they're all in there. And I just we're using 5 to 7 layers of different therapeutics layered within a specific contemporary music protocol to create some different physiological effect and directly influence biochemistry through bioresonance. So the next area I want to validate with you, and Amy was talking about this when we opened up, it seemed like 3 hours ago. I feel like we've been on this webinar for like 3 hours. But no, it's actually we're doing really well. We're moving along really well, guys. Is this all good information? Give me a yes, a thumbs up. Yes, you guys are all enjoying yourself. Good. If you guys have any questions, I invite you to post them in the chat. We're going to be doing a Q&A after this webinar, which we're beginning to wind down over the next probably 10 minutes or so. So yeah, any questions, feel free to post them here. Amy, keep track of them. And what I want to share with you is, okay, we have all this information. Okay, great. Prove it, Dr. Schwartz. And you know who says prove it, Dr. Schwartz, more than anybody? Dr. Schwartz. Yes, exactly. Now, let's put it this way. Testing, I've seen thousands of patients using vibrational resonant techniques and technologies since 2000. I'm convinced okay? Just seen it. But you know what? Let's test it. So heart rate variability, HRV, heart rate variability. This is a test that we did. This is considered to be the gold standard in checking for autonomic nervous system regulation. Remember, I talked about parasympathetic, and the opposite of that is sympathetic. Sympathetic is when your body's in fight or flight, stress mode. Parasympathetic is when you're in rest and regenerate mode. And so we want to be in parasympathetic. We want to be in both, really. We want to be in both. But this most people spend most of their time in sympathetic. So we want to be able to bring you into parasympathetic. And this is where we come into working with, what we did with this study here. This is a 26-year-old female. She did a pre-test, a pre-HRV test, and then we did a 20-minute vibe, and 10 minutes later, she did a follow-up, and these are the results. So first we see, this is her psycho-emotional state. This is this brain picture here to the left. I think it says 49. After 30 minutes, boom, 70. Sorry, guys. I mean, Cheryl, I don't know what's going on with you, but you're a 5 and stuff's going on. Can we change your physiology in 30 minutes? Go vibe yourself. I don't know what's going on, so I apologize if I'm being offensive to you, but these are some suggestions, and you know that we're always here for you. And down, what I think is really amazing is we see all these brainwave states. This is the red, the yellow, the green. This is delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma. That's everything that's here. And after 30 minutes, we've seen a complete, this is what we call ADD. This is attention deficit disorder. And this goes to where we're just getting a spike in delta. This is what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to be in a deep meditative state. And this is what this shows. And after just 30 minutes, you guys are going to love this. This really supports our immortality, longevity quote, hydrate, vibrate, gyrate. And what we're looking at, this is our biological age versus chronological age. And this 26-year-old was 29 when after doing, before we did the vibe session, and after vibe, she was 23. Okay, everybody, we'll take everybody's credit cards right now. Everybody see Amy, if you want to buy a vibe, come see Amy. I mean, guys, look at what we just showed. This, you're telling me just pick a SonicCeuticals, set my intention, go into vibrational resonance and transform my life? Yes, that's exactly what I am saying. Hydrate, vibrate, gyrate, intention plus resonance equals transformation. And we start seeing in 30 minutes a reduction in biological age. Now you might, oh, Dr. Schwartz, what did you look like in an hour? Great question. And we did some other studies for that as well that we're not in a place to share with you at this moment. But I will let you know that it's just like anything. You know, if you go to the store, if you go to the gym, hey, have you ever eaten food? Yeah, I ate food once. It's cool. You ever go to the gym? Yeah, I worked out once. Got really, really ripped once. I walked around the block once. No, I mean, listen, guys, these are things that you're going to be doing ongoing, but it's completely natural and it's super new earth, and it works with sound, light, frequency, and vibration, just the name of our talk, right? And what I want to show you is this picture here to the right. This is our spine. This is showing what your body looks like in sympathetic. When your body's in fight or flight, it looks this like orange. And when it goes into parasympathetic, it looks like this to the right. So, and just to take it a step farther, that's heart rate variability. That's checking for autonomic nervous system regulation. Now I said, or people say, I don't know if it's me or other people. Okay, Dr. Schwartz, it's quantum. It's like energy. It's theoretical. It's not real. I want to see real. You know what? I want to see real too. So what's more real than urine and saliva? Really the first thing in and the first thing out. Saliva, urine. So we did saliva and urine tests, and we checked for sugars and salts and proteins and pH. And this is also key, guys. We had each one of our subjects pick their own SonicCeutical. Because remember the equation? Intention plus resonance, thank you, Cheryl, equals transformation. So instead of doing a control study with everybody listening to energy, and we're going to do that, guys. We're going to do like, here's 20 people, everybody listen to energy clearing. And here's 20 people, everybody listen. I'm really curious to see what the results would look like versus 20 people that get to choose their sonic ceutical. And what we saw are profound biochemical effects on all test subjects. And the reality of it is, it was really hard to show the results like in a graphic. So you just gotta take my word for it. Basically, everything changed dramatically within 30 minutes. You know? So I'm wanting you to know that, can other things change that quickly? I don't know. But it's pretty freaking good. I think I just swore. I might have just swore. It's pretty freaking good. I mean, all you're doing is putting your headphones on. You're laying down on a vibe system. You're choosing music that's going to match up to your intention, and you're literally not going to listen to your phone. You're not going to do anything, and you're going to sit there for 15 to 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and you're going to vibe yourself. And you're going to change your vibe. And you know what happens when you change your vibe? I'm going to write it in the chat. Does anybody want to write in the chat? Come on, my vibe owners. Change your life. Exactly. Thank you, JJ. Change your vibe, change your life. So we're getting ready to wind down here. I want to just share a couple testimonials. Go ahead. Let me just see in the chat. How many people still in this chat are do not own vibes? Just let me go ahead and just do a little thumbs up. You're yet to be vibe owners. Okay, Susan, I don't vibe yet. Okay, Kara. Okay, good, Carla. Well, we want to show you. Okay, Donna. Okay, great. Well, stay tuned. Okay, so guys, this is all amazing information, but I can show you all the studies. You can do all these things. But really, what really makes the most difference to me is how this technology makes people feel.
I have been going to the emergency room for pain in my back at least once a month for the last 6 to 8 months. And I'm talking, well, anybody who gets the ambulance to come pick you up, we know what pain's about. And the day I got released out of the emergency room, he brought the bed over 2 o'clock in the morning. And I said, look, I can't even stand. And he goes, we'll put you on the bed. I don't know how to I can't exaggerate this. The next morning, 5 a.m., I got up and I was walking. Like, this is impossible. This does not happen. And I have not had a visit to the emergency room since. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is I have had a total shoulder reverse replacement. And doctors, I'm sure you know what intense surgery that is. Yeah. And 22 months tried to reconstruct it by putting a few tendons back, or like all the tendons in the bicep. Didn't work. So I went in, I had the whole surgery, and I've been getting on this bed. Again, I don't know anything about the bed really. I just know it's supposed to work. And I talked to my surgeon this morning. It's amazing. He goes, you are way far advanced in your healing. I don't know what you're doing. And I told him about the bed, and doctors are doctors. And he goes, you should not be able to even lift your arm and look at this. Whoop, my arm is up there. Yes, I'm not in pain. My doctor was just amazed because he said, I've never seen this in all my years of surgery. You are like 3 months into your healing, and it's only been 2.5 weeks. What? So whatever I'm doing, I'm doing it well. I sleep on it. And my kitty cat loves it too. Cat, and he's a barn cat. But I don't know what this thing is doing, but it's healing my body, and I'm so grateful. Wow.
Amazing. Is that amazing, guys? Can we get a round of applause for... There we go. Is that amazing? Yeah. And guys, I got to tell you, that was not me that put her on this vibe. She was on a webinar. She was on this webinar. She got on a vibe from one of my vibe owners, one of my affiliates, and had that experience. And yeah, and she bought a vibe, of course, you know. So that's the power of sound, light, frequency, and vibration. And let's see what else is next. Winding down here. If you guys want to know some research, I don't think I'm going to get into this with you guys that much, but just know that basically this is a National Institute of Health. This is a PubMed study called Emission of Biophotonic Adjustment. Essentially, there's an amazing article written that validates everything that I just talked about here. I've been talking about this long before this article even came out, but now I'm happy to see that this research study was done. It totally validates photonic emission. It talks about all the different things. So we're going to kind of keep moving. And we're going to talk about the vibes. This is why we're here. And really, we have two different kinds of, two models. And people always think of like, oh, I think you reversed it, Dr. Schwartz. Isn't it 3.1 supposed to be 3.2 and a 3.2 is supposed to be 3.1? Well, no, actually. The 3.1 is the 3.1 because, and why is it the 3? Where does the 3 come from? This is my 3rd generation vibrational sound bed that I've either manufactured or worked with. The first one, so I had a vision to make a vibrational sound bed in 2009. It was a total download, floating in Colorado in these hot springs, toning. I had like a total, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind kind of, you know, Tesla moment. And I couldn't get out of my mind. I made these concept sketches, and then they sat in my office from 2009 till 2012, till I met my first mentor, Ed Bender, and he was making vibroacoustic sound beds, a word I had never even heard before. So that was number 1. He died in 2014, and then I moved to California and started manufacturing my own sound called the Sound Lounge through a company called Holistic Health Science, and that was in 2016. And then we separated from that company, and I started making the Vibe systems. So that's the generation 3 vibrational sound technology. And the 3.1 was based off a design from my first mentor, Ed Bender, and really my second one, and we continued through. But then out of these larger, bulkier, more professional models, we had usually women, small body worker, massage therapist, living in California with small cars, saying, do you have something smaller, lighter, that we can do body work on that's a little less expensive? And so we created the Vibe 3.2. So the 3.1 has 4 transducers, 4 vibrational centers. It's more ergonomic in shape, double the foam. It's really designed for more professional use. If you own a clinic or want to have something in your house, if you're in your house and you have your biohacking space, you want to be a baller, 3.1. You got a clinic, you know, and you want somebody to walk in and be like, what's that? 3.1. You want something that people are just going to get in this anti-gravity shape, 3.1. And then 3.2, you want something more mobile, you want something to slide in the back of your car. Somebody sent me something about a picture about sitting in the back of their Prius or some other kind of car. Somebody sent me that last week. You can pretty much get a 3.2 in almost anything. I think anything, maybe even a Cooper, but I haven't put in a Cooper. But also, if you're a body worker, I'm a chiropractor. I like doing chiropractic adjustments on the 3.2. And really, because I travel so much, 3.2 is my personal favorite technology. But the 3.1 is great as well too. So it depends. People say, which one should they buy? And I say, well, I want to buy the best. They're both the best. So you can either buy one of each, or you can, I'd say, what do you want it for? And then literally I've spent a week on the phone with people, just like agonizing which one to get. And I say, which one do you really want? And 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, they want the 3.1. They're afraid to give themselves permission to spend extra money. So say yes to yourself. And it doesn't matter if it's 3.1 or 3.2. It doesn't make a difference to me. I just want you to say yes to yourself. Now, what comes standard on both of these are our standard headphones, V-Moda headphones, which are really nice. I think we have a graphic with them, a dedicated Lenovo tablet. We're one of the only, we may be the only vibroacoustic company in, I'm not sure in the world, at least in our class, that comes with a dedicated high-quality pre-programmed tablet and high-quality custom headphones. Also, we have we're the only people in the industry that have a custom travel bag. We're the only ones in the industry. And we're the only ones in the industry that have custom breakdown quad fold metal frames. That comes as well too. So if any of these are interested, now I want to show you something, okay? People are buying transducer. If you've never seen a transducer, this is what it looks like. This is what affectionately known as a hockey puck. It's super heavy. It's large. You put them in and the thing vibrates. And then what makes it vibrate? These were never made for, these were made to basically put into seats for movies or VR, you know, to like a lightning storm, the thing rattles, or like a car crash. Oh my God, something like that. That's why these are made. They're called base shakers. 99% of all the people that are making in the vibroacoustic space are using some kind of off-the-shelf bass. There he is. Everybody, I want to introduce my father, Irving Schwartz. Hi there, Dad. How you doing? You're muted, but I'll bring you on in just a minute. I'm glad you've been on this call. Good to see you. So these are the transducers that I originally started working with. These are aftermarket. You can buy them off the shelf. Most people, when you look at their sound beds, this is what they got. However, and these are the ones we use for my old company, Holistic Health Science. And if you guys have heard of In Harmony, that's my old company. Both Craig Goldberg was my sales guy who I trained, and Dominic Carnevale was one of my patients and best friends for a long time. I found these transducers. This is what we were using in Holistic Health Science. They're still using these in their technology to this day. Haven't changed since 2016. This, what I'm about to show you, is what I've been working on the last couple of years and are now being released in all of our brand new Vibe. This is our brand new transducers. And just as a comparative, look at the size difference. Now, the power outage is exactly the same. I mean, look how cool these look. Dude, they're thinner. Look, go vibe yourself. It says go vibe yourself on them. But it's got the exact same power, exact same wattage. But you know what's interesting when we design these? We design these to optimize the sonic pseuticals. So instead of just getting this gross rattling, let's just put it this way, guys. Picture a coloring book, okay? Picture a coloring book. Here's your coloring book. I want you to go paint within the lines. And you know, like little kids that are just learning to color, they're just like scribbling all over the place. They can't really scribble. You look at it like, oh, that's a beautiful picture. There's color on it. Yes, they colored. Versus somebody that goes in and draws inside the lines, it's more specific. It's really accentuating the mandala. It's accentuating the picture. And that's what this is, because I'm not creating something that's rattling your nervous system. We're creating something to optimize your nervous system with the vibe system to clear cellular memory. So this is what I've been working on. This is what's going into all the new vibes. We have 60 out in the field so far right now. We're about to build 100 more. So Daniel, a couple other people that are waiting for their vibes. The reason that we're on a delay right now is we put 60 in. We did, just to let you know, we did the prototype. Then we did a second prototype. And then we did a first production round, and that was the 60. And we put them in the field, and they're out, and they're working, and nobody's having any issues with them. So then we are now placing this next large order for these right now. And it's our second round, man. So everything's a little delayed. Everything's, we're still working with our factory. So it's something that we're working through, and that's the extended delay. But once we get this next round in, you're not going to be having an issue with inventory. I don't like being on back inventory. So if we can prevent it, that's what's going on. And here, if you want to remember sound, light, frequency, and vibration, we also offer 3.1 and 3.2 packages. These are lumbar lights. These are leg lights. This goes on your head. We have these this company also has these really cool new full matte LED and infrared light mats that fit perfectly inside the Vibe. I really love them. They're really great. Right now, I had 2. We sold both of them. But they're available. If you guys, I think they're the same price. We probably sell them at the same price as these lights. So if you guys want to purchase a light system and you see them, you don't see the light mat on our website, you can purchase this. And if you want that, then we'll just sell you that same time. So these are the light systems. And what's in the controller? You can control frequencies from 1 hertz to 9,999 hertz. It's completely customizable. But if you're like, oh, Dr. Schwartz, I'm not a sonic alchemist. I just want to, I want the presets. Cool. They have 10 different presets. There's a cheat sheet. Preset 1 does this. Preset 2 does this. It's right in there. Super easy. Hit the button, put the lights on, and go vibe yourself. And if you guys are thinking that we might want to, and if you guys are interested in purchasing a Vibe, you can scan this QR code right here, right now. And I want to share with you the special that we're running. Listen, I don't like delays, but right now we're in a delay. Basically, we're on the transducers. Everything else is in our factory, ready to be made. We have a factory that's been making us Vibe since 2016. Okay, they know how to make these things. We're working with a new factory with the transducers, and the second round's coming out. So what we're saying is, if you want your Vibe, place your order and we will give you $500 off your Vibe system because you were in a delay. And we will ship in the order that we get your order. So if you're like, well, I'm just gonna wait till you get them in, we're probably gonna be at about 100 Vibe back order. Realistically, by the time we get the transducers, we're probably gonna be on a delay for about 100 Vibes. So right now we're about 20. I think we're about 20 back order. So I recommend, now the good news is we're planning on building all of them at once. We should be able to, it should take about a month. But I recommend, then we got to ship them. So I recommend if you're interested in getting a Vibe to place your order now. If you scan this code, it'll show up regular price, but then it'll end up deducting automatically at checkout the $500. And I love saying this. If that's not enough, we're also offering free shipping anywhere in the United States, and actually internationally as well too. We've been working so hard on getting our shipping costs down, really to a place where we can just absorb the cost. And so now it's just easier. I think it's easier. We don't want anybody, if you want a Vibe, we want you to get a Vibe. I don't want you to be like, well, I bought a Vibe and now it's another $500 for shipping. Just get the Vibe, okay? Now we're offering you free shipping. What other excuses do you have? Well, I don't know if I have $5,000 or $6,000 at this time. Well, click. We have these different financing options. You can use PayPal Credit, Acima, Click Lease, any of these things. You can pay it off on a 12-month interest-free credit card. Many different ways of doing it. We even accept cryptocurrency. Actually, I love cryptocurrency deals. So if anybody wants to pay with crypto, we can do that. And now that I'm going through this slides here, I don't think we even talked about the price. Is that here? Let's just keep going, but I don't think we even have the price. So if you're wondering, okay, well, let's just go through the price. Let's go back a little bit. The 3.1 is $6,500 US. And now they're $500 off, so it's $6,000. The 3.2 is $5,500. 500 off is 5,000. So 6,000 and 5,000. That's the deal. Different things. with the light packages, I recommend you just scanning the QR code and you'll see the pricing on there. But yeah, they're about another $4,000 or so for the lights, and they're FDA approved, highest quality lights products. I mean, it's actually kind of the best deal in therapeutic lights that's in the market today. So scan the QR code and you can purchase today. And like I said, we can do any of the financing options. And really, if you're wondering if you have a clinic, how many people here have clinics or is going to be using them for some kind of process, some kind of professional use? Pro use. Okay, Carla. Okay, great. Pro. So just to let you know, I mean, listen, I'm not sure. Carla, we can talk in just a minute when we open up for the Q&A. But I can say to you, you know, equipment's expensive. So for you to bring in something at $6,500 or $6,000 or $5,000, it's kind of a deal. And really, what's it going to take? I mean, you could sell packages, 10 packages for $600. There's your, you just paid for it, you know? So super simple. That's what this graphic's showing here. So this is the offer. Okay, so this is special. Go ahead and scan now if you want to buy a Vibe. I think there was like 3 or 4 of you, or maybe 5, that are here wanting information about purchasing a Vibe. Just to recap, do not use the discount code, the Vibe webinar. I just realized we didn't change that. When you go, we're going to offer you $500 just when you go to the website and purchase it. It's going to be an automatic deduction, and then you're going to put in the code SHIP. I'm going to post it right here in all caps. Ship my Vibe. I think I spelled it wrong. VIBE. Ship my Vibe. And that's going to give you free shipping. And I don't know if we need to use next level vibes. Oh, maybe.
I did confirm we do need to use next level vibes for the $500 off.
Okay. Listen, I'm just the president and founder of this company. Talk to Amy. She's the director of sales, and that's why she's here right now. So so we're offering really an amazing deal for $6,000. You're going to have one of the most advanced, and if you have red light therapy, infrared saunas, cold plunges, whatever you got going on, if you don't bring your body into parasympathetic, you're not optimizing your biochemistry for healing. And so I invite you guys to take advantage of this very special offer that we're offering right now.
Dr. Schwartz, we did have some questions that were, do you want to wait a little while, or do you want to continue?
No, we're just about finished. I'd have to open up. Let's open up for question. I want to thank you guys for being on this webinar. We do these once a month, and this is Bioharmonic Technologies at gmail.com. That's a email that you can contact us directly. Bioharmonic Technologies is our website. Definitely check out our YouTube channel, Bioharmonic Technologies. This is my book, Primal Resonance, Discover the Secrets to Health, Vitality, and Optimal Human Performance. And this is the movie that I'm in, Beyond Physical Matter. We're waiting for it to get officially released on Amazon Prime. And I'm also in another movie called Biohack Yourself. So both of them are going to be out in 2024. And we're going to be talking about quantum physics and healing and consciousness. And the biohacking movie is going to be featuring the Vibe. And they're interviewing the top biohackers in the world and industry leaders. And I was hand chosen to be part of that movie. So that is part of your purchase price. You're getting an industry leader that's been in the space for almost a quarter of a century and really is committed to creating the best vibrational technology in the market here today. And one last slide. If you guys are wanting to follow us on Instagram, please pull out your phone and scan our QR codes right now. This is my personal one, and also Bioharmonic Technologies. So with that, thank you for vibing with me. And I'd love to answer any questions. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I'll leave this on for a couple minutes in case you guys want to scan. But yeah, I'd love to see if you have a question, you can read it, or I invite you to unmute yourself and ask the question.
So I'm going to read one that Cheryl posted a little while back. Cheryl Lester posted on the app, on the Vibrofil app, do you need to do the protocols in order?
Not at all. Not at all. Well, wait, are you saying inside of the app, can we move around the music inside of each individual app? I mean, inside of the protocol, rather?
Cheryl, can you unmute yourself and ask? Cheryl Lester, if you're still on the call, can you unmute yourself and define what you're asking?
I see you, Cheryl.
So she just said in the chat box, go from energy clearing to cellular.
I put it in that order for a reason. So I invite you to use the protocol the way it's set up. Now, that being said, you can go into the Museo Player app and you can create your own protocol in your order that you want to create and see if you have an improved clinical experience. You can unmute yourself. Oh, wait, you were unmuted.
She also had one other question when you might have already answered it though. Other than wellness conferences, how are the other outlets for exposing people to this technology?
I mean, we're about to go hardcore into online sales, paid ads, social media. Guys, I can tell you if you're not on social media and you're running a business, you're really missing out. I mean, there's no way you can get free. And do you have to pay a social media manager? Yes. Or you want to sit there and do it? It's either going to cost you your time or your money. But really getting out quality content about what you're doing, and then once you're really getting a community down, then going in and doing paid ads or whatever else is coming down the pike. It might be expensive, but so are shows. I think really though, at the end of the day, getting out in your community with this technology, talking about it, getting people on it, hosting what I call like vibe Tupperware parties, where you just have people come over your house and just, whether you want to make some green juice or you want to cook some dinner or you want to, whatever it's going to be, and just have people vibe. We've sold a lot of vibes that way. So yeah, lots of different ways of putting yourself out there. And you know what the number one best way is? Through your customers. Because if everybody loves the vibe, say, hey, do you know anybody else that might want a vibe? I'll give you $20 off the next visit. I'll give you a free visit for your next one if you bring anybody in, or just thank you. Here's a granola bar, whatever you really want, whatever you feel, just to acknowledge them. But really, when people are doing stuff that's cool and they want to share it with people. And you think with Shauna, the woman that had that testimonial, you don't think she was super grateful, for that and aren't telling people? She came to me and we did a show together. She's like, I just want to tell everybody my story. And, really, if you're a Vibe owner and you want to be an affiliate, Amy's also our affiliate manager. And everybody, wants to talk like Dr. Schwartz. Dr. Schwartz, what did you say? Was it hydrate, vibrate, gyrate? Use those for sure. Just make sure to quote me. Don't be taking my quotes. But I would invite you to share your story. Like, you don't need to talk about microtubules and intermediate tubules. You don't need to talk about that. You can if you want, if you can own it. But I think a more compelling story personally is for you to say, I learned about this technology because of X. I purchased because of Y. And now I'm here in front of you because of Z. And if you want to record that and just put it out, send it out on email or send it out to your community or whatever you want, that's even easier. You want to give it to us and let us post it on our social media? We love that. And you got yourself a phone. Turn it around. You don't even have to even put in your passcode. You can just literally hit the button right here. fact, here. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Stephen Schwartz, and we are here live at our webinar, Bioharmonic Technologies monthly webinar with amazing souls that have all just witnessed an incredible webinar with great information talking about research and background and science. And we'd love to have you come vibe with us. It's made a video. I probably won't post that.
Sure, if you don't mind me interjecting for a moment to answer Cheryl's question too. Cheryl, one way that I found to share other than going to conferences is within my local community, joining the Chamber of Commerce. They host lots of different events, also joining the Rotary Club. And in addition to that, local, if you get on Facebook and you put in the search, like for example, I live in the Denver community, I put in Denver Wellness Club or Denver Health Group, and it'll literally pull up pages of groups that you can join that are wellness, health, etc. Vibroacoustic, you can join those, and then you can actually post in there about what you're offering, your wellness modality, your clinic, whatever. Lots of wellness events that you can look up on Facebook as well too. So just wanted to share that. And then Dr. Schwartz, there was another question regarding, you might have already answered this. Carrie had a question about, can you utilize a PMF mat with the vibe bed at the same time? I think you had.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really believe that the vibe is the ultimate bio hack. Even though I really don't want to use the word biohack, I'm going to use the word, it's the ultimate bioharmonizing technology. Because at the end of the day, if you're using PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic fields, and you're using red light therapy or infrared light therapy, if you look along the electromagnetic field spectrum, sound, light, frequency, so you're working here, but what about here? You're missing the lower end of the electromagnetic field spectrum. So now you can put the PMF mat on top, you can put lights on top of that, and now you're hitting sound, light, frequency, and vibration. You're hitting the full spectrum, and I think it's great. So yeah, I highly encourage it. It's a standalone modality, or it works on many different levels. Does anybody want to?
We had another question.
Okay.
I'm keeping track. Susan had a question. Susan Carter. Her question was, does this plug into a regular outlet? If yes, does it draw too much power to take in an RV?
Great question. So we've debuted all of our technologies at Burning Man. So it's Burning Man approved. That's the land of the RVs. A lot of people actually purchase vibes that they can run specifically in the RV. You might need to get a converter just to change the sine wave, but it doesn't draw a lot of power. To the 3.1 has a 350 watt amp. The 3.2 has a 100 watt amp. And guys, if you get it and like, oh, let's juice this thing up, let's plug the vibe into a 1,000 watt amp and really get the thing vibing, you'll blow it out, because really these transducers are designed for, these are 50 watt amps. So you have to do some math. 50 and 50 is 100, 50 times 4 is like 200. So there's windows of optimizing the electronics, and that's why we're using what we are, but optimizing the vibration. But yeah, but it plugs right into a standard 110. And actually, we have people here from all around the world. We had this plugged in. You're just going to need to get a local adapter. Like if you have an Australian adapter, if you're in Australia and you're in Europe, wherever you're going to be, just get an adapter. I usually like getting the whole end part that goes to the wall that's local to that country. But I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. But that's usually what I do. And you can get them off of the local Amazon for a couple dollars if you want to do a retrofit. But yeah, easily can run off of, also it depends off on your generator, you know, if you're running off the battery, lots of different things, but it doesn't pull a lot of power. Great question.
Sure. She also had another question, or Cheryl did, on the app. Is there a sonic-ceutical for skin conditions?
Well, great question. There's not a skin, they're all skin protocols. They're all skin protocols because remember, it's all affecting the ectodermal tissues. And so there's two parts to the skin. The skin is the largest sensory organ. It's also the largest detox organ. So if we were going to be detoxing the body, I'd be working with cell cleanser. If I was going to be working with down regulating the nervous system, I'd be working with energy clearing, spectrum, something like that. If you're going through some like hardcore emotional stuff, cellular attunement. But it comes down, but all the protocols are for skin. But if you're saying, hey, I have rashes or some kind of like skin condition, I'd recommend cell cleanser, energy clearing, spectrum. And maybe not even in that order, probably energy clearing or body clearing instrumental with the spinal frequencies. Then if you want to come in and work with Universal Phi, which is on Sonic-Ceutical Volume 1, which works with stem cells. So these are the things that we talk about on our Thursday calls. As a Vibe owner, every Thursday, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we do a weekly Vibe Tribe where it's Ask Dr. Schwartz Anything. I usually have some kind of topic. And yeah, we have Cheryl's there all the time, smiling and being happy. And it's a fun hour. And it's questions like this. So the purchase of your Vibe is just the beginning. This is a community that we really, really care about, to be honest with you. And it's very inspiring. So any other questions? Can I sign up to be an affiliate? Yes, you can totally go on. You can totally go on our website or on a YouTube channel, and there's a video that says become an affiliate and just follow the instructions. Amy, as our affiliate manager, anything you want to say about becoming an affiliate?
It's pretty simple. Like Dr. Schwartz mentioned, it's actually on our website. So you go to the resources page, scroll down. If you're an affiliate, it's going to say login. If you're not an affiliate, it's going to say register. You're simply going to fill out a form, make sure to include your W-9, and let me know on the back end. I'll approve your application on the back end. It's going to pre-populate your personalized links, affiliate links that are associated with you.
Great. Yeah, and come vibe with us. It's actually, during COVID, we were doing all live shows, and then next thing you know, there was no shows. We weren't set up to go online at all. In fact, my social media manager was my girlfriend, and we just broke up. I was just like, thank you, universe. But you know what? The phone started ringing from my affiliates looking for a way to make money. And I was like, dude, sell. And really, they kept, in the early days of COVID, it's really what kept this company going, was through our affiliates looking for ways to make money. And really, it's the core value of our company is through our community, sharing this technology. And then we're here to support you. Any other questions? Okay. Well, if there's no more questions, for the 4 or 5 of you that are new here that that are considering purchasing a Vibe, we would love to have you be a part of our community. If you have any specific questions right now, I'd specifically like to open the floor for any of these potential Vibe owners, people that are here curious about the Vibe, whether they're looking into other vibrational technologies, how they ended up finding Bioharmonic Technologies, what your feedback is for this webinar. Trust me, you won't hurt my feelings. What you liked, what you didn't like, what you would be, and what you want to know, about this technology that would allow you to commit to an hour and a half of your time on a whatever day, Wednesday. So do any of our non-Vibe owners have any questions that they want to come on camera and talk and ask? Nobody.
JJ just posted a question. If you see that, Dr. Schwartz, I don't know.
What material is used in the manufacturing of gas reasons and EMF reasons? Is there EMF output? Okay, cool. Good. So anything that plugs into the wall, this is a great question. And I want to paraphrase kind of what JJ's asking. And correct me if you're basically asking how much EMF is coming off the Vibe, and is that potentially detrimental, right? Okay. So EMF, electromagnetic fields, just the same as the cell phones, anything that plugs into a wall and there's current, there's EMF. It's actually like the piezoelectric effect. In a moving system, we create this information, you get this field. So that in and of itself, it's kind of like sleeping with an electric blanket. You don't want to go into delta with like laying in this electrical current. I've never really been keen on that, but that's kind of the same principle. However, when you are like cymatics playing harmonic resonance through an electromagnetic field environment, you're basically pumping electromagnetic harmonic resonant ratios into your field. And I don't think you're going to have a negative response to that. And I've had this conversation with Luke Story, who's really big. I've been on the Luke Story podcast. We've had conversations. He's super freaked out about EMF. And I think that his perception of dirty EMF is not 100% correct. But that being said, I would love to also plug one of our Vibe owners that is a master in the space of EMF. And if you go to emfrocks.com, Justin Franson, he's a longtime Vibe owner, a dear friend, and this is his company. He works with these natural rocks that come from one mine in a place that will be, that I know that I'm not gonna tell you where it's at, but there's special EMF absorbing rocks. So you can put them like under the Vibe, around your computer, in your car, and it absorbs the transmit and really absorbs naturally EMF. Shungite is another great anti EMF rock situation. But JJ, what I'm excited about to share with each and every one of you is, as we're upgrading to the new transducers, we also designed brand new wire harnesses that these plug into. And with the new wire harnesses, we're specifically shielding them end to end with anti-EMF shielding. So what we're hoping is you go over the Vibe, with your EMF reader, and it's going to be low or no EMF. And that's what we're going for. So, but if you want some more protection, I recommend EMF rocks or shungite. All these things are great absorbers. Any other questions? Okay. Well then, let's see. Oh wait, here we go. Susan Carter, you'll be hearing from me soon. I'm excited to become part of the community. Thank you much for this. Thank you, Susan. And I get to say it in advance. Welcome to the Vibroacoustic Evolution Revolution. And we are here for you. This is just the beginning. I recommend reaching out to Amy. She can support you, or Amy can reach out to you, either way. And I really appreciate you guys allowing me to share this information. They keep getting better and better. Share this with their friends. You're all going to get a rebroadcast of this. It's going to be edited and then sent to your emails. I invite you to listen to it again and share it with your community and come vibe with us. My name is Dr. Steven Schwartz. I'm the president and founder of Bioharmonic Technologies, and our co-host, lovely co-host, Amy Connect, are very talented and persistent customers, director of sales and affiliate liaison. And guys, she's type A, which you want a type A person taking all these phone calls. And I just really would like to acknowledge Amy for her type A-ness, because if she wasn't there being type A, I'd be super stressed out, because all the things that she's picking up on about like what needs to be utilized for their customer service and all that stuff, she's catching all of that, and it's getting worked on, and we're growing this company, and we're going through our growing pains right now. But I've been around for 25 years. This company's been established since 2007. Bioharmonic Technologies has been making this, my third generation sound technology. It's not a fad. It's the new earth medicine using sound, light, frequency, and vibration, and just align with industry leader, and we'll take care of you. So thank you. Wait, do you want to let her do what she does? Yeah, do what you do. Do your thing. And I learned an amazing, we're going to go on this note, but I'm here in Tulum, Mexico, and my sister was just in town, not the one with the rash, but the other sister, and her family, and they bought all these Mexican towels, like cheap at the store, because they, for the beach. And one of them was written in Spanish, and it said, "Say tu." Say tu, S-E, little apostrophe, little thing, and T-U. And I know two means you. And I'm like, say, like, what's say? Say tu? And anyhow, I use it for my workouts in the morning. I have a trainer that comes over and works me out on my rooftop who's Peruvian, and he's like, say tu. You know what say tu means? Be you. Love that. And say tu mismo means be yourself. So I'm leaving you on that note. Say tu mismo. My name is Dr. Steven Schwartz, and adios.